No drop frames.
SEGA Saturn SHIRO!
Hey everybody, happy Friday, SHIRO Show. We've got Emerald here with us, joining us because Pat is getting drunk and laid in Vegas, and he's gonna come back hungover. Isn't that right, Pat? You're out in the desert, fear and loathing. He's muted.
Being out in the desert is not an excuse.
We need hear no more. No, so, you know, as a testament to how we fly by the seat of our pants every week, we kind of just got the stream set up going at the very last minute. And then when I hit stream, my computer told me that my video drivers needed to be updated. So I had to like really quickly change the encoder to like X264 just to get this to work. So, but it's working and I don't have any dropped frames right now. So if you guys can see me, we're good. How you doing, Emerald?
I'm fine. My weekend is starting. I'm doing a lot of last minute prep work for the competition.
Yes.
And for my weekend.
That's really exciting. You're going to make that announcement tonight, right? About the competition?
Yeah, in about 3 hours. So right after this show, I'm going to do a lot of really quick HTML formatting and making a couple of forum posts. And then we will have the competition is live when I do my live stream tonight.
Nice. That is so exciting. And you're going to announce the new judges then? Or like because it's a lot of the same old judges, but there's a couple new ones? Okay. I won't say anything.
Yeah, every year there's some change up because of scheduling and what have you. As always, the judges that want to stay on have their seat for as long as they want them. If I can't get a hold of you by competition time, unfortunately, I have to replace you. But in terms of this year, you will find out it shouldn't be anyone shockingly surprising or unfitting for the bench. So you'll see when you see it in 3 hours.
Cool. Just a reminder, if I go robotic, let me know. I can swap the thing out. But yeah, no. Just a shout to Sega Lord X. Mel did say that it was a great honor that you wanted him to be involved. And unfortunately,
and obviously he can come back when his schedule frees up in another year because there's always someone's always dropping for some reason.
Yeah. I think he's like a volleyball dad or what, you know, and he's like on the road and doing that and the job and everything. Yeah. So I think he's just super busy, but he said, thank you for thinking of him and definitely excited about what you're, you know, promoting and organizing for the community every year. And he felt like it was a great honor. Yeah. So we don't have a lot of news well, I'll say this, there's a lot happening in our community, but we haven't really been able to write about it. Dan's been trying. Dan Thrax, who does write for our site also, you guys know him. He does great articles and does great work. Also helps us find a lot of news too, but even he is limited in his availability, and this week has been crazy for me and Pat. So once again, we've not really been able to write up a lot of articles, but I do keep an eye on the Discord community, and we can talk about, you know, things that are going on. Like I know AM25 Albert, you know, he's got an entry in Sage, the Sonic fan games, and then of course Voxel as well just released a demo, right? I heard some folks are playing it. I think Dan Retrospectors mentioned that he was already playing like a demo.
I'm not aware of how Voxel is handling his release right now. I did personally ask him about joining a competition this year, and I think he's stepping away from Saturn development. So I think whatever was released might have been just the last bit of what was released, but I don't know how much we can expect in the future from that. I've not had a chance to play personally.
Okay. Well, yeah, I haven't had a chance either. As I've been, I mean, if I had a chance to do anything, I would have been writing up articles on the website. But literally, I don't think I'm going to get a break until PRGE. And then that's going to be like work as well. But it'll be fun work, you know, so I'm really looking forward to it. Pat scored us a hotel room, so that's good, at least, you know, really looking forward to having a party there and like working PRGE and just, you know, sharing the love of Saturn to everybody. I hope that you guys can come out or at least check it. I don't know if they're going to have like some kind of online streaming portion, but if they do, we'll definitely be streaming some stuff from the floor, from the showroom floor for sure. So we'll try to keep people in the loop.
I will be on a 20-hour flight during the beginning of that, so
you have like a business.
You're
one of those lucky few that has a business visa to Japan, right? Or non-civilian.
So the way it's working out is it's just going to be a standard business visa this time around.
Okay.
Just because that's like the best way of going about it. But yeah, you need a good reason to be there. But right now, Japan is accepting tourists if you go through a Japanese tourist agency. So it's not like it's completely. And right now, Japan is like dirt cheap. Like my Airbnb, and my hotels and stuff like that. The places where I'm staying while I'm there, it's like $20 a night.
Really? Okay, so if I wanted to book a trip around like, you know, next fall or something like that, would that be too far off? Or
my flights out there are less than $1,000. I think my return flight was like $500.
Well, that's like better than going to Hawaii.
The thing is that's going through a specific acquisition system, so maybe you guys won't get that kind of rate.
Okay.
But I think you can get like a $900 round trip. Or maybe $1,000 round trip, and obviously when you're there, I think your biggest expense would be like food and dakimakuras.
Yeah. Actually,
so
yeah, go ahead.
If you can make an arrangement with a Japanese tourist agency, that would probably be the best way of doing it. I think now is a good time, as long as you're like COVID aware and like COVID
Gotta
courteous.
wear a mask. Yeah.
Yeah, wear it everywhere. Wear it in the shower, but like, just don't be a dick about it.
Wear it in the shower. I like that. Well, I'm curious. Yeah. So, how long are you going to be there, and where are you going to stop? Where are you going to
go? So I'm planning on. I have some business in Matsue, and when I'm done with Matsue, I will be at least try to be in Akihabara basically as much as possible.
Nice, cool. You going to go to Super Potato or? Is that just overrated?
I have no idea. I don't have an itinerary. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but I will attempt to do all the relevant things that are still available to do. COVID has hit Japan pretty hard, so a lot of stuff that was there might not be there at full capacity.
Right.
I would like to advertise that the SHIRO Discord does have a Japanese channel.
We do.
That I'm basically. I think I'm like the only one really posting with any frequency anymore. But if everyone wants to try and do like actual Japanese group study or something like that, I'm actually like seriously doing some catch up to be able to function as a person in a Japanese city. So like I actually have like the Genki book and everything like that, and I'm doing Duolingo as a meme. But if anyone else wants to join, it's easier to study as a group than as an individual.
It is. Yeah, no, that's why I created that channel, and I would definitely be interested. Short on time right now, but if you post in there, I mean, I'll peek in every once in a while. I definitely am interested in getting like a Japanese study group going so that folks can apply that to, you know, playing import games and translating games and stuff. So yeah, that would be great. Thought it would be nice to have like a Japanese voice chat as well, but I don't know how comfortable people feel about that, you know, but you got to use it.
I ended up joining the Learn Japanese on Reddit, Discord, or whatever thing, where they actually have people willing to sit and voice chat and like as kindly as possible to describe how bad you sound.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Nice. Well, you know, you got to do what you got to do. It works, though. I mean, that one thing's for sure. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. And I can say that from person experience, you know.
Yeah.
Like I've actually gotten worse at Japanese just by not using it.
Yeah, it's from what I hear, it's like you need to keep this up for like a solid decade if you have any chance of retaining anything.
Really?
I'm not sure the Tricky's approach of watching Super Sentai is going to be a viable path forward for me, but it might work for someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick apology to anybody. I do have the garage door open. Yes, I do have my green screen in my garage and my entire setup. So if a garbage truck comes by or traffic or whatever, I apologize in advance. But I am not keeping that garage door closed in this heat. I don't even know what the temperature is anymore. It's just ridiculous. Probably not as bad as Pat has it out in the desert, but still, you know, it's humid, so uncomfortable. Let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's get the browser up and we'll talk about the one official article that Dan wrote
I just published the other one.
And Dan,
So refresh.
okay, let's do a refresh then.
F5.
Literally seconds ago.
Let's do a refresh then. Let's see here. I'm gonna.
Oh, let's start with the SD because it's kind of interesting. I know
we will.
remarkably little about it.
We will. So okay, let's do this. We'll go ahead and start with the Merzik invents SD loader to use controller port for running software. Hit it, Dan. Take it away.
Okay. Great. So, as the story says, he has come up with this little piece of hardware that involves taking a little micro SD card, a PCB that has a micro SD card reader attached to it, and wiring it to a SEGA Saturn controller cord and plugging that into controller port 2 of your Saturn. It uses 6 of the 9 cords in the Saturn controller. I guess you can use a controller extension cord too. You don't have to destroy an original Saturn controller. But something's getting destroyed either way to make this.
Yeah, but like they make those new on Taobao, and you can get like a handful for $4 or something.
Oh, really? Well, there you go. Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I know the board, as I say in the article, is super cheap. You can get those for under $5 as well. So it's a pretty cheap way to run software on your Saturn, and that's what it does. He wrote some code, like an ISO, that you put onto your SD card. You put in this thing, and it will allow you to run a program off of that SD card. I've not tried this, obviously. I didn't wire one of these things up myself in the last 2 days. He just put this up 2 or 3 days ago on Sega Extreme's forums. So I'm actually not clear on how it runs.
So let's take the numbers that he gives us, right?
Yeah.
So an executable file of 40 kilobytes. Is it kilobytes or kilobits?
I'm not sure either. See, I tried to ask him a few questions on Sega Extreme back Wednesday evening, two full days ago now, and he had not responded last I checked a few hours ago. And
64 kilobytes worth of save files to the SD card in about 9 seconds to load and execute 40 kilobytes of code.
Okay.
Right. His main reason for making this thing was to allow him to back up save files from his internal Saturn memory to an SD card, and to move save files from the SD card into the Saturn. It uses Yabausi or Yabasanshiro's save file format of like BKRAM backup or BKRAM.bin. You have that kind of file on your SD card. So that's the main reason he did this. I think you can actually, and he actually talks about a little bit in his post, that you can run anything off of it. It's just that his main reason for doing this was to make a save game copier type of thing, which would be useful for someone who doesn't have something that can run Slinga's save game copier, like Fenrir or Sadiator. So, you were saying, Emerald, what were you saying about the throughput?
Well, I was trying to get to a realistic idea of if you actually try to use this as an ODE. Blue Skies itself would take probably about half a minute to load into memory before it actually started trying to operate as a code, which means even more load time after that. A real game, like a real proper size game, much longer. I don't think this is
right.
Don't use it for that reason. Use it for the SD backup reasons. But even still, you're putting like $10 of hardware towards this. I mean, if you absolutely do not have the money for an ODE, I guess go this route. But if Fenrir is $100, Obviously, $90 is a big bridge to gap, but
I just wonder if there's. I wonder if there's potential here beyond the requirement of the Sudokai cart. Because, like, for example, the Sudokai is required to run unsigned code, right? It says right here, cartridge.
That's what Anthony was saying. Anthony
It's
was
not
saying
required.
It's not required because
It's
the
a
system.
minimum.
Okay, because the system checks for controllers that they're present, right? And if there's some way to use it, like turn this into like a dongle that you could just stick in your Saturn and would act like a pseudo cart, would basically force your Saturn to run unsigned code. Would that be no?
That's not possible.
That's not possible. Okay.
See, that's what I was unclear on. I was trying to get some clarification on. I don't know how the Saturn actually boots into what's running off this SD card. What's the boot sequence look like? How is it, latching on and taking over?
I would assume you'd need a pseudo cart to run this. Yeah, it says right here you need a pseudo cart.
Either a pseudocart or Fenrir, you need some way to play unauthorized software.
So here's the thing. This is a fun direct way to load stuff onto SD card, but Slinga's save game extractor works if you have any sort of computer with a microphone ability. So if you own a laptop already, you don't have to do this. You just have to use the extractor. I mean, this is a fun bodge job for someone to do if they're excited to operate with hardware on the Saturn, but it already requires what's a pseudo cart go for, like $50?
60 or so, I think.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
can go as low as 20.
Well, you get what you pay for, but yeah, there are like really cheap ones, and then there are ones that are built to better. But yeah.
So I'm thinking like starting from zero. At bare minimum, you pay $30 to get your Chinesium pseudo cart and the bare materials to do this, and a few hours of time to solder it together and test it and make sure it's working. Or you find a way to find the extra $70 by, I don't know, selling your plasma or something, and you get a Fenrir. And with the equivalent amount of work or less, you have a much better setup. This feels like a very interesting novelty to me. It's nice that we're able to send data back and forth through the controller port, which I didn't know we could do. I didn't know data. I thought it was one way. I thought we were only reading. The fact that we can write tells me we can attempt to make peripherals using this same technique, wiring spare extension cords to stuff that we make. If we wanted to, say, make new kinds of analog, we want to make a 3D controller that doesn't look like it was invented by someone who's never seen a 3D controller before.
Yeah, well, yeah, so this hints at potential, definitely, like beyond what's being done with it right now. I think that's the thing, is this could definitely open the floodgates to more creative stuff, if folks get their hands on this and start dinking around with it and testing what you can do with it. But that's cool. That's a cool thing to know. When it comes to
wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, crap. Sorry. Knight, are you still on?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay, so the throughput is not fantastic, but this is a similar size board as what your commonly sold laptop component Wi-Fi card is, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like.
No. Size, maybe.
Size.
I
Yeah.
mean, the ESP32 is probably that size.
Yeah, so could an ESP32 be used as a wireless connection through Player 2 controller port?
Oh, absolutely. The only problem is slow ass speeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it is 40 kilobytes over 9 seconds. Is that's somewhere in the ballpark of 14 kbps, right?
40 divided by 9. 4.4.
Yeah,
and then you have to multiply through by another 8.
No, he's doing
By another 8. That's 35.5.
Yeah, so that should be a full speed netlink connection. Assuming that's kilobytes and not kilobits of code that he's talking about, but usually he would be talking about kilobytes. So this should be able to beat out a netlink with a solid Wi-Fi connection.
Interesting.
And the ESP232 or whatever it's called, sorry, I forget, but that's like a $5 component. as well.
Interesting.
So basically, we could all make our own homebrew Wi-Fi NetLink adapters for $10 and wire it through our controller 2-port.
Yeah. That seems like something we could do with the appropriate software. Now, the software to control the Wi-Fi adapter, that's completely in Knight's wheelhouse, considering he's rewriting the NetLink OS. But I don't see why it wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
No, definitely possible for NetLink speed, since you got to figure the games are really built on the 14.4 modem, not the 20.8.
Right.
So there's
Right.
very little data going through per second. So, I mean, outside of latency issues, it's doable.
It's
Interesting.
doable.
Are you guys would you still not prefer to use the serial port if that was possible?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No. If we could get everyone to move on to the serial port, we'd be basically at DSL speeds.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. You wouldn't utilize that, but yeah.
You would be able to stream games off of the serial port.
Sure.
And the bottleneck would be loading into RAM, not the internet connection.
Right.
That's a whole different thing. And that'll go into any potential upgrades to Forsaken Plane, but I'm not even done with Forsaken Plane's like alpha version yet, so it's not what we're talking about.
Can you imagine like this is pie in the sky, but like if you're talking like Ethernet speeds, like having like an Ethernet to Saturn serial, plug it into like a NAS or something like that.
Not Ethernet. I think the maximum throughput that I saw was 200 kbps or something like that.
Still enough to,
Yeah, we're hitting like USB 1 speeds.
Oh yeah. I mean,
so that's why I said DSL. Think of good internet in the late 90s.
Right, because aren't the USB ports on this? People have managed to get PlayStation games booting from the PS1, PS2 USB ports on the front, but those are one, right?
Yeah. So Trekkies has a point that the CD-ROM drive loads in at 300 kilobytes per second, and assuming the serial port could ever meet that speed, I think the Waterfields test did not quite get there. But if they could. That goes back to the point of me saying, hey, completely streamed connections. Now, USB speed is a lot faster. Like it's not even the same ballpark. I don't think there's anything on the Saturn that can handle input that fast. I don't think we're going to be
not
able
even
to
the cartridge.
The cartridge is. Knight, help me out here.
Knight hates talking.
Well, we're still bound by the CPU itself speed, so
right.
Whatever the 28.8 kilohertz gets us, or megahertz, I mean. Yeah,
that's your bottleneck. But yeah, so moving back to, because we do have other stuff to talk about, I would just say that there is some potential here for sure. I would imagine. If
you are super strapped for cash and you really need to back up your saves, spend the $10 in the weekend learning how to solder to put this together, and it'll be worth your time. And then you'll still get to buy the SD card, but you always have to buy the SD card.
Right. Yeah. But that's cool. I mean, honestly, it's great that folks are just like messing around with like the different ports on the Saturn, including the controller input ports and figuring stuff like this out, because it could just be a stepping stone to something else. So definitely newsworthy and interesting. We'll keep an eye on this. Thanks, Dan, for writing that up. Appreciate it. And
Sure.
you just published this quick write-up about the Sonic games for the Saturn, featured at Sage 2022. We have got Sonic Ring Worlds, of course. AM, did you want to say anything about this since you're in the chat?
Yeah, like having like the build done by then has been quite stressful, because we had quite a lot of technical issues, like big technical issues. One of our computers broke, so we couldn't really do anything. That's why like the build is so like clunky, and it's a really early alpha build that we kind of just rushed out the door. And like in the Saturn chat on the SHIRO server, I posted like assets and like
Right.
of the demo we wanted to have before all the technical issues came in. It was a we are still planning to have it done by around Sage, like before Sage like ends, to kind of like still get the exposure of it. But it was like and I took that like delay to remodel Sonic, remodel Metal Knuckles, optimize like the models and how it works, and like the animations, make them better and less terrible, because
Like rigid?
the old animations
Like I played this. I played the one.
the old
that's,
animations were really rigid, were not good.
Were you able to get some
really-
collision going with the ramp?
we were able to at least do that, because like we needed to change the format of the levels, like the format of our models completely, because like the old one we had been working on for quite a long time, SSB, we then realized we couldn't really do anything because of it, because it took up like way too much RAM, like much more Saturn RAM that it should take. Like it shouldn't take that much. It shouldn't be that big of files. So because we didn't really knew how to like really fix it, we decided we need to go to like XL2's like model format, that's CTP. So between like having to do that and all the things that like the roadblocks that happened, we had to put like that let's say not great build out to kind of have something, because we already like submitted like the project to it in the hopes that we would have the build ready for when Sage really started. So, yeah,
that's understandable. So you've been in crunch time, and it's been stressful.
Yeah, quite a lot. I mean, like because of like summer vacation, like it's summer, I have free time. I could like pull it off. It has been quite a lot of Monster cans, but we are putting it off, and
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Take a rest. You take a deep breath and get ready for the competition that Emerald's going to put up, because
like we have a level done. Like we have like a part of a level done that's made by one of like a great artist. But like the thing is that I need to like fix it up, because he uses like a 2005 software. It's like, why do you use this? Why don't you use Blender? And it's like, I don't know how to use Blender.
What did he use?
It's like,
I'm just curious. What did he...
something called Carrara.
Oh,
2005.
Carrara. Wow.
Yeah, Carrara.
I mean, there are so many 3D animation suites out there, but I haven't heard of Carrera in a while, to be honest. That's like kind of like Strata.
I mean, it's really useful. It's really useful for like the renders we want to make, because it's an old program, so it looks old.
Right.
But because it doesn't export quads, like it doesn't matter how hard you try, it doesn't support quads. So I have to take them to Blender, turn them into quads, retexture it, because the textures are like mapped to as it was like a PlayStation 1 game, like tries, and do almost that. Because I mean, I also have like all the like assets, so it's not terrible to do, but it's a step that is a little bit not the best, because I also have to change like the rotation of it. And if it's easy when you're dealing like with bricks, like like it has a really like a bottom part and an upper part that you can really see. But when it's working with things like sand, leaves, if you change the direction of one polygon, it doesn't mesh with the rest of the texture, so you're practically on a where's Wally hunt for that single texture that's just bad. It's just badly applied. but it isn't terrible. Like we have like it has been a really long way to like actually have this game like working and like even existing, because he has gone from a Sonic 32X recreation to a Sonic Extreme recreation to like a new game based on Extreme to another game based on like Sonic Saturn, and now it's finally on like what I hope is like the final like step of this project, which is like if Sonic Adventure was on the Sega Saturn, but different zones, because we have some plans. Like I showed like a chow garden, like the floor, like that I turned into like a PDP2 layer.
Right.
So we have plans for some things like that, but
I mean,
at least we got
good.
something out.
Feel good about yourself, because I'll tell you, you guys came out with an ambitious project off the get-go, and lots of folks say, I'm gonna make this or that, in forums or in Discord servers, and then you don't see anything. And considering how far you guys have gotten, I know that you've got momentum now, and you're gonna see it through, at least to be able to make something fun and playable that people can mess around in. Who knows, it might be a jumping off point.
I would like to I just want to acknowledge real quick Shadow Jackal. So Shadow Jackal was basically the sole coder for this project, and I've
she's amazing.
Yeah,
it's
talking with her
incredible.
Extensively over these last few months while she was basically creating the SSV format from the ground up. I had been pushing her this entire time. ZTP is done and ready to be used, but she wanted to give it a shot. The technical issues with the SSV format were duplicate vertices that need the SGL requires and expects you to not use
1800 vertices, I think it was like the limit.
No. So your limit should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 17 to 1900 quads, and somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 3000 verts. Obviously, each quad will have 4 vertices to it, but not all vertices are unique. Part of the problem with the SSV format was first, the data was not compressed in any fashion, so everything was in full fixed format and not unpacked on the draw like a ZTP does. I'm fairly certain whatever textures you guys were using were not CLUT, but rather full RGB. But I never got that completely confirmed by Shadow Jackal. But most importantly, the verts were not. The verts were all unique per quad, which is a problem because that's going to eat up your RAM, especially when they're not compressed. So at some point, Shadow Jackal, I know right now I think she's on a break because she burned herself out on this project. Like again, she's the sole coder for this thing, so she managed to get.
She also was like making her own like 2D platformer on like her. Like
with the Fox?
Like an engine that she made from scratch.
Yeah,
it's like you should rest. Like there are a lot of like messages of me and her that's like, hey, you should rest. And like, yeah, I'm going to. And then I go like in 30 minutes, and like 2 hours later, go and rest.
Yeah.
It's like 30 minutes.
She's
it's
addicted. Addicted to work.
Rest.
So yeah, and she is working on some PC platformer engine and her own tooling. So she's doing a lot. I think right now she's taking a break. I'm sure whatever you guys have right now built is going to be good enough for the competition coming up. But I'm sure you guys will find a way. I think at this point you have enough where you can just insert assets, and if it's built in the way that I think it's built, you won't need to bother her too much for the rest of the 4 months for the competition.
Yeah, we'll probably do that.
We should probably talk about voxels. So voxel's a little farther along. Probably got I don't know if he got the same start as you guys, or if he started a lot longer ago and just was being quiet about it.
As I understand, Voxel's build should be actually based on Extreme's original builds, like whatever was leaked.
Yeah, they are the same assets, the same models, and like the same textures. So like he like we have to make everything from scratch. Like his work is incredible. Like it's 30 frames per second with the fisheye lens. With real transparencies and not like the checkered pattern. Like it is really impressive. And also like the sniper boss fight, it's really well done.
Really?
As I understand, the fisheye lens effect, is that simply just SGL putting FOV out to 160?
No, it is like, I think it's because it kind of like creates like a center point on like this, on like a vertices that serves as like a point like 0 in quotation marks, and like it deforms the polygons. And
Okay. So it's an additional transform on the draw command then.
Yeah,
Okay, so that would make things twice as expensive, roughly. Well, not twice, maybe like an extra 30 to 50% or something more expensive in terms of drawing everything. So that might reduce your quad budget by a little bit. But if everything else is simple, apparently it's doable. And if they're locked at 30, they're locked at 30.
Now these pictures here, these pictures in the slideshow that we're seeing. So you can see that the Weasel Knack is a 3D model. I was under the impression that he'd made a 3D model for Sonic as well and got it running, right? Because these old screens.
He used the Sonic R model and like the Project Condor, which was like Sonic Extreme, but like really late in development,
right?
Before it got canned. But like that, like the fact model is actually like ripped from one of our team members.
Mm-hmm.
Like he ripped it like a few like months ago, I think. Like he also like was a big part in like the Knights like data mine community.
Exactly, yeah, with Grimmer Warden. And I think that, so I do think these screenshots are a little older because I do think that he's already replaced Sonic with a 3D model version. But it was cool.
You can select it. You can select if you want like the sprites or like the Sonic R model or like the Sonic Extreme model. You can select in like the menu.
So you gave people options.
Those screenshots aren't old. I took them like half an hour ago.
Okay, so then they're just a something you can select. Because
it's up in the options screen. I just happen to be playing it with the sprites.
Got it.
I do like the if you do not have the fisheye lens or like the lens flares.
Yeah, right. You can turn off the lens flare and you can turn off the fisheye lens. I had both of those things on for all these screenshots as well.
And it speeds up. Really nice. It speeds up without them, or
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it's locked at 30. It's locked at 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's just locked to 30 frames per second.
So the way SGL will generally work if you have a dynamic frame rate is you drop down from 60 to 30 to 20 to 15 to 12 and a half, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But if you're at a solid 30, you're somewhere between what 30 and 60 needs, and so maybe you will occasionally jump up to 60. But things need to go very, very bad for you to drop down to 20. So it's probably just going to be 30 the whole time. I do like the shadow that's going on here. I just want to point out that from the perspective of the lens flare, only one of those two shadows is correct. If you look at the green one. The green, there.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing some of those shadows are baked on and some aren't.
I mean, like most of like the shadows that you see on like the level itself, like in like the ice level, like around the side, like they are like the big open area. You're gonna see like a shadow of like the mountain beneath, like the mountain beside it. It's like baked onto the texture. It is weird because you have like many more textures that you think you need for it. So maybe that's why he kind of like doesn't really have much video RAM apart that like Sonic's like sprite sheet is like really big in size.
Mm-hmm.
The Sonic sheet would have to be big because you're going to want to code for every orientation. I'm noticing that the resolution on the actual quads themselves is relatively low, so he's making some savings there.
each texture is, I think, 24 times 24, around the same size as like the ones found in Nights into Dreams.
Right.
So
Did we want to? So folks can download that, right? This is a link, Dan.
There's a link to
Okay.
the Sonic Fan Games HQ where it's hosted.
Right. So yeah, there it is. So yeah, you can burning to CD, real SEGA Saturn system. So
and if you go there, you see the exclusive interview that was done by this obscure Saturn news group.
There you go. It's all a big circle. It's a big
yeah.
And so
Ouroboros.
There we go. Oh wow.
Oh,
So
no.
yeah, some of these
Not
shots are
Ouroboros.
really impressive. So yeah, go check it out if you guys are watching this and you're curious. You can do this through emulation or on a real Saturn if you burn it onto a CD. There's links here available for you to follow.
We don't recommend Metafin for like ring rolls because somehow it doesn't run. Like, it runs really slow. It runs well on like real hardware with like some big load times, and like it runs well on Java USE and Java SHIRO. But on like Metafin, it runs terribly. We don't know why.
Yeah, and there's like a
it shouldn't
issue too. I tried loading it up. The background wasn't really loading.
Yeah.
So maybe the way you're doing VDP2 might be like if it functions on hardware, it functions on hardware, but it may not be like the best way of doing it. Mendefin generally runs fast, and its compatibility should be a superset of what Yaba USE can handle. So in terms of if something's running on Yaba and it's not running on Mendefin, I don't know if you're giving Mendefin bad firmware or something, or if there's some weird setting, or if there's the only thing I can think that would be going wrong is either using the DSP, which I definitely don't think you are, or something weird is going on with VDP2 that technically works on hardware but doesn't work on here. So how are you testing on hardware? Is it like it's with disk, right?
Yeah, it's with a pseudo Saturn Pi and like in CD-ROMs, like bent CD-ROMs.
Okay, so with disk, yes. So and that, if it runs on hardware, that's the gold standard. As long as it runs, and then it's a problem for Mendefin to catch up with. But it's weird that Yaba would work and Mendefin doesn't.
It's funny because
we're trying to see if we can fix that.
So all of my ZTP based projects are tested and developed in Mendefin, and they just work in Mendefin.
Yeah, it's funny because Sonic Extreme, Voxel's saying for the best experience, strongly recommend to use Mendefin, while everything Yabase and Kronos and Yaba SHIRO are having audio and visual issues. So it's like the opposite.
So Yaba has significant sound quality issues with a lot of official games, and VDP2 it's a hit or miss with Yaba all the time. And even for some 3D games, it gets a little bit weird. The only thing I use Yaba for is checking RAM and making 2D games. If you like try to play, because Yaba has the online component in it. If you try to play Duke Nukem 3D on Yaba, it's completely unplayable. You can't see anything.
Yeah. We should also mention Alessandro Schiassi's Overjump Rally. It's included here in this article. This is now this is Unreal Engine, right? This is for a PC, right? Yeah.
This runs on computers. He remade the game sort of in like a spiritual, homage type of a thing, in Unreal Engine 5. So it's just a computer game. I thought it would be fun to highlight it though, because
definitely
SEGA Rally is an iconic game for the Saturn, ported to the Saturn from the original arcade.
And it looks beautiful.
So, yeah, this guy's made a love letter to it.
Also, a singer of like Crash 40 has like an original track just for that fan game. Like Crash 40 has been extremely like alongside the fans with like helping with a lot of like projects. Like it helped on like making like the intro of like the set, like the fan project that is like a continuation of the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, and like two songs for like an audio show that's like Sonic and Tails are, that also has like almost all the original voice actors. Like that's not something you normally see. Like you wouldn't see like Charles Martinet make like the voice of Mario on like a YouTube series.
Right.
It is quite impressive.
This looks amazing.
So does the car respond differently to street and gravel and dirt in this game?
I mean, it should. That you're asking for. Yeah.
I haven't tried it out.
Yeah, it does. It looks, just from a visual, it looks like he's trying to mirror the not only the aesthetic but the control, the behavior. Yeah, and I mean, obviously I wouldn't know unless I could feel it, but it does look like it handles a little slippery on when it hits the dirt, and it's kind of like the rear swings out in that kind of like arcade style handling. Very very similar, maybe a little more sensitive than Sega Rally. But I'm sure that it's like every time I've seen updates for this game, it just looks better and better and better. So yeah, I'm really excited for this.
And,
awesome.
For the true experience, you need to play with binary input digital pad, so WASD will do the trick.
It's true. I prefer playing a Rally with a D-pad, standard D-pad. I can definitely play it with it kind of slipped a little bit when it hit the dirt. And whenever it goes over like a bump or something, kind of like hits the ground and then kind of loses traction for a second. It's cool.
So what I miss is there's no big warning sign on the screen telling you what kind of turn you're about to make.
Oh, right. Yeah. Maybe that's yet to come. It's like they just get the basics down first, which is like the general control and the feel of the game, and then add all that little stuff at the end probably. But because I don't think that it's not done, but this is an update. But yeah, this is amazing. So I just looking at all the games that were entered this year for Sage 22, it looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. Like there's so many great games entered, and so this is definitely one of them.
What I don't understand is, how does a Sega Rally remake qualify as a Sonic fan game? What is the Sage entry requirements? I guess I don't get that.
Like Sage has multiple sections.
Categories.
It has like indie games, like completely original titles. It has fan games, which people can like. It's all kinds of fan games: Sonic, Mario, Rayman, Bomberman, Mega Man. Lots of man.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a Sonic game. It's just like an indie game expo.
Yeah,
right.
Pretty much it.
So in theory, more Saturn devs should be pushing games toward the random category.
I mean, XL2 featured Hellslave in it last year.
Right. Yeah. And obviously, Hellslave is a heavy hitter, but things like Ervilsoft's games or the Sartist or something like that, like small but complete experiences that you can just push and say, hey, it's for the Sega Saturn. I think we should just try to encourage more people to do that, because I think like between all the Sonic games and XL2, I don't think any of us have actually bothered submitting for Sage. I don't think Blue Skies has been submitted for Sage, and it probably should have been.
And Emerald, I need you to do the dab on the screen.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Blue Moon paid $50.
I was going to wait till the end. Yeah. I would like to.
I didn't mean to not.
I would like
acknowledge.
Yeah. First, Tanuki Trev says you're hot.
I know.
So we need to get that out of the way first.
Tanuki.
Like, we got to do this in order. But if you need me to do I don't know what works well on this camera.
That works.
But, yeah.
Dab it
screen
up.
cap as needed.
Yeah. Not the dab. Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you, Blue Moon, as usual, for funding SHIRO almost single-handedly.
At the cost of our dignity.
I know, right? And thank you, Tanuki Trev. Appreciate it as always. There's a tip jar if you guys want to put something in it, but definitely don't feel obligated. Pat and I are always caught a little off guard when you guys do. But yeah, so what else before we run up on time? So tonight, like 3 hours from now, you're going to be doing the announcement.
2 hours from now at this point. It's
Oh,
almost
2
5
hours.
o'clock my time.
All
yeah.
right.
So UTC midnight, right? So I try to base everything off UTC for an international audience, but I'm on Mountain Time, MDT. It's almost 5 for me. At 7, I will go live with whatever I have there. The judges list is finalized. The way the contest is run is not too different from last year.
Thank you, Shadow.
Thank you again, Shadow Mask. Oh, sorry, Shadow. I said again. This is the first time today. Thank you, Shadow Mask, for the $2. Actually, I don't know why I'm thanking you. This is not my show. Yeah, $1.99.
$1.99.
Oh, wait. No, it should have been.
It should have been $2.99,
right?
No, but that's like a hypothetical price reduction.
Right. Okay. But anyway, yeah. In about 2 hours, at the top of the hour, the Emerald Nova stream will go live with the details for this year's competition. This will be the 4th year of us doing the competition, if I recall correctly.
Can we get a link to that?
Which puts me at what?
Can we get a link to that in the comments?
So I can try, but I can tell you it's not going to work for me because I am a dirty plebeian on this channel.
I think it'll work for Knight. If he has access to that.
You are going
I'm not a
Roboto.
mod.
I'm going
Yeah.
Roboto. Okay, hold on a second. I'm plugging this.
Yeah. So if you go to emeraldnova.com and you click on the Twitch, or is it Twitch? Yeah, much better. So
Much
go
better,
to emeraldnova.com and you click on live stream, and it'll take you to my Twitch page where I live stream. It'll also have at that point the live link for the 28th anniversary game competition. As I was saying, it is the first. It's the 4th year. And the original set of competitions back in the early 2000s, run by Rockin' B, who was like the forefather of the Saturn homebrew scene way back when, he ran 4 years of competitions and non-concurrently. So I
Saturn
have currently
Basic, right?
reached, sorry?
That was Saturn Basic, right? Basic.
No.
Basic?
He was using Saturn Orbit. So they were using proper SGL and SBL to make games.
Okay.
And you can even see like games VBT made 20 years ago from back then. What I'm getting at is just my own bragging rights. Is I've reached parity with Rockin' B, and this time next year I will have exceeded his time in organizing Saturn homebrew competitions.
Wow.
And hopefully that will be enough to draw him out of hiding so that I can make him an honorary guest judge.
Oh, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
I would love for him or Antime or even like Ice Digger if he's available to come in. I don't care if we filled up the bench. I'll make an extra seat for them. We need some of the old guard back just to add some continuity to the community. But yeah,
definitely. Malenko just dropped $2.99.
Yeah. So guys, I'm not trying to draw money away from SHIRO stream. I will tell you that the donation box for this year's competition for the cash prize will be open again very soon. Mm-hmm. So if you guys want to dump money into that jar in addition to SHIRO and not in lieu of, I would welcome it to help fund costs. This year I did not mail out the 3D prints because most people said they didn't want it, and I figure I've waited so long to get the 3D prints arranged that I'll just mail them out in the second batch for this year again, and I'll just do it on time for once. So between that and all the prize money that the group projects decided to give up last year, because a lot of the winning projects were group efforts that decided they didn't want to split the money, we will already start with a sizable prize pool. So once again, it's going to be a potential nearly $100 pot for the first prize winner.
Actually, I would like to go on record saying that if you do have money burning a hole in your pocket and you were planning on giving it to SHIRO, don't give it to Emerald, give it to the competition, give it to support the developers. We are, infinitely grateful for the financial support that folks give us. It allows us to do the magazine. It allows us to keep the lights on. We just paid the Google G Suite crap and all that garbage. But honestly, really, you guys, I know that there's a culture with homebrew developers and patchers and stuff like that you're not really doing it for money. It's for fun. It's for pride. It's for the community. But again, like, you guys are working so hard, probably taking years off of your life to do this stuff, and lost sleep.
So for the last 3 years of my life, the last week of the year has always been the most the most strenuous in terms of my sleep schedule and
Yeah.
how much coding I do. The pre-alpha, the very first version of Forsaken Plane I ever made was made within the space of 5 days.
Yeah.
With remarkably little sleep in a 1-bedroom apartment.
That's incredible. Yeah. Yeah. So please, so is this the best way that they can just give into this? Let's make this a huge prize pot. Let's because if it's a huge pot, then maybe it'll encourage more people to join, right?
So last year, the total prize pot was $606 roughly, making original game first prize $121. A lot of people chose not to take the money, and a lot of those people ranked highly. So the prize, I haven't calculated the totals yet. I have to do that next 2 hours. But the totals from last year have essentially made it so that most of that prize pool is intact. So
have they rolled over?
You could potentially. Yeah, everything gets rolled over. None of this goes in my pocket.
Nice.
I just reimbursed myself for shipping, and because I forgot to do that this year, because almost everyone told me they didn't want it yet. I'll have to do that for the people that did tell me they wanted stuff, but I'll try to do that as soon as I can. Essentially, this year could essentially be a $1,000 prize pot.
That would be great.
I will use last year's entry counts to determine how to split it up for this year.
Cool. Well, I know we're going to have some great entries. That's for sure. We're already seeing.
I'm counting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that a lot of the times this can be a catalyst for new people we've never heard of to come in. Every year, I'm always surprised by someone that I've never met before coming in and blowing something out of the water. I've never met Soft in more than a contact for your prize money kind of situation, but I would like to because he always has a very polished, clean, small scale, reasonably planned game to come out. I do try to talk to I do try to talk to Seven Shades, who was someone who came out of nowhere and blew it out of the water, and it is basically a top tier contender with Hellslave, which is not easy to do, especially as a one-man project. Sartis was another, you don't even think to make that kind of game because you're not in that headspace, but someone else is, and it's something that people appreciate. I know that it ranked very highly with Film Cow when he was doing his judging, because it's just a fun, pleasant experience. So it's a great little piece of software. Like I'm just naming examples that come off the top of my head as unique and noteworthy. Not to disparage the people I didn't mention, but just to say that every year we get surprised by the people that submit stuff that you're not expecting to submit. And every year you get something worth playing.
And we've had an amazing year of translation patches too, because Malenko's put out his Tokyo Highway Battle. I had a lot of fun with that. Super glad that got translated. And then of course we've got newcomers like Fireweed joined our Discord, I don't know, a month ago, maybe less than that, started asking, how do I translate patch games, and is rolling, with help from the community.
And that's how we got Bulk Slash.
Yeah, exactly. So who knows what we'll have next, so yeah, definitely looking forward to the translation patches portion of the contest as well. And possibly tools, utilities, stuff like that.
I am planning on submitting Bastard Baroque as a finished game this year, but also I'm currently working, because of the Forsaken Plane project, I'm working on an easy CLUT sprite converter that should be artist friendly and accessible in Python, and I'm hoping to submit that as a utility as well. And that's just my own plans.
I have to ask Anthony, do you think that Netlink OS, or whatever it's going to be called, is even a possibility for the end of the year?
That's my goal this year. My goal is to have just a big old suite of Netlink stuff. I'm going to try to hit all three categories with Netlink stuff.
Right. So, and I'm hoping myself to be able to take the Netlink suite and put it into Forsaken Plane, because Forsaken Plane is meant to be a multiplayer experience. I did not know that Knight was planning on making his own game with the Netlink OS. I thought he was just going to submit it as its own utility. But now that I know I have competition, I'm hoping that he releases the OS suite early enough for me to be able to do server tests.
Nice. We'll see. shouts to Knight. And is Joe helping you with any of that? Sega RPG fan?
The only they're going on with is the tunneler stuff.
The tunneler side of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, my hat's off to both of you.
And I'm assuming the tunnel is going to be submitted as a utility as well. I think this year is going to be a very impressive showing for the utility category. I was surprised last year because I just kind of put it in as a win because people kept asking for it. We have like 3 people are going to submit for it, but we got 5 entries. Mm-hmm. And I think this year it's going to compete with hacks and patches. So This competition should be every bit as impressive as last year. We are still growing.
And
what's the likelihood of having some of the competition stuff as part of a display over at PRGE?
Yeah.
That would be great.
I don't know, like anyone who's made competent or complete homebrew in the past and wants to have it displayed for someone. Ben in the SHIRO Discord, I believe, was asking for written confirmation that he has permission to use your stuff in PRGE. Obviously, PRGE starts on October 14, and you need a little bit of headway or lead time to get stuff loaded in and prepared for an audience to test out. So I want to encourage everyone that has something playable in terms of homebrew to let him load it onto a Sadiator or whatever he's using, Fenrir mode, whatever.
Yeah, something like that. We'll have a station just dedicated to homebrew, and then we'll have a station probably just dedicated to patches that'll rotate titles throughout the day so that folks can try different stuff. But yeah, definitely hook up with contact Ben because he's kind of in charge, been put in charge of like the layout, the floor layout. And he will want to know.
Until around when like has been to like put like all the builds on like where he loads them. Like
I would say you've give him a week. Get it to him by the
October
first week
7th?
Of October. Yeah, there you go. October 7th.
First week of October is probably good. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that I'm sure if you hit him with a late build, like he might be able to get it on there. But I mean, let's just be safe, you know.
Sorry.
Because then everyone on October 13th is like, hey, can you squeeze this in right last minute?
Right.
And now he's got like
then he's got a bunch of work to do at the same time. Yeah. And he's going to be by that time. He's probably going to be doing a lot of other last minute stuff too. So
I sincerely hope that on this year's Sega Extreme competition, the Santa Claus dating simulator comes back because I just want to see where it comes from.
That's Cobra Dials. Chris Mingle.
Mingle,
so I think he's still working on it.
That's the name.
Chris Mingle, that's right. Yeah.
Chris Mingle's the name. And it always goes over well, but he just needs to put more content in it. People are waiting for Santa Daddies. They want their Santa Daddies.
What's the next sentence going to be? No.
Yeah.
But okay, I need to.
What I wanted to say though is like, did you plan on having a write-up or something so that we could have that displayed about the competition, not just showing the competition entries, but that
is a good idea. And I might be able to collaborate with Emerald on that. If you wanted, go ahead.
Competition descriptions to motivate that, but if you need me to write something a little bit more inspiring or humanistic or whatever, I can try to give it a shot.
Like some sort of a biography kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do display cards, placards, that kind of thing.
Oh, for the individual games?
For the stations, for like each station. So something like that might have the Sega Extreme logo at the top, and it might have a menu of items that are going to be featured, in the competition or something like that. It might even have a paragraph telling people about the competition, so that they understand that this is something they can check out. So let's connect after today or so when I'm not busy with this stuff, and then we'll try to get it figured out. For sure. And we are coming up on time. So I guess, I got stuff and places to be, stuff to do, but I do want to let people know that tomorrow we're going to be dropping a new Editor's Corner podcast episode. Secret's probably out of the bag by now. It's Knights related. And Peter and I are really, really excited to have you guys check it out. If you're already a supporter of our Patreon, you've probably already listened to it or at least had access to it since Wednesday, but it'll go live tomorrow to the public. And I hope people listen to it. And I hope they enjoy it. It's definitely
it managed. Sorry, I was going to say it managed to spark a small debate in the Patreon Discord.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I have not seen the debate yet. I'll definitely.
You were involved in it. We were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the SHIRO Insider channel.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm really excited to see what you guys think about it. It's a topic I'm passionate about. I love that game, and I do admit I'm a little biased in my because I realize it's not for everybody, but we kind of deep dived it and we talked about our feelings about almost every aspect of the game that we possibly could think of. We probably missed something, but again, it's supposed to be a mini cast, so I'm just glad that it didn't go 2 hours, But definitely check that out tomorrow, Saturn Day, and then be sure to join Emerald in about 2 hours.
Yep.
Was Knight able to put? We'll get a link. We'll get a link up.
Yeah. Just go to emeraldnova.com and click live stream, and you'll be there. Or just look for Emerald Nova on Twitch.
For the announcement for the 28th annual 28th anniversary. That's right, 28th Saturn anniversary competition.
For
exactly.
The 28th year of the Saturn's commercial existence.
Exactly. That's the thing that always confuses me, because I'm like, I'm always thinking annual, but it's actually anniversary of the Saturn. Celebrating the Saturn. Yeah.
Yeah. It is annual. It just hasn't been happening for 27 years in a row.
So I do want to read off. I want to read off all of our Patreon supporters that are on the $3 or up tier.
You are a little bit robot-y, so you're gonna have to enunciate.
Am I robot-y? Do I need to unplug and replug? Okay.
Or you can give me the list and I can do a guest shout out. Yeah, you're
Better?
good. You're good. You're good.
No, that's good.
I swear, I'm literally just gonna have to nuke my computer and start all over. I think because there's like some kind of driver discrepancies or something. Anyway,
it might literally just be grounding. But anyway, let's hear those patrons.
Okay, so we got Peter, we got Stoneman, we got Joseph Wazanek, Justin, Nate Lawrence, Murder of Crows, Gem Classer Rank, Cerulean, Dine 153, King Gidra, Emily, Juice Peters, Robert Ramsey, Nutrageous, Keith Stack, Blue Moon 95, Paul, Joseph Borte, Brian H, Tanuki Trev, Alexander Miranda, Louis Viant, Johannes Fetz, Rowan Dinkt, Jeremy Rutz, Joe, Jesse Hurley, Rab Mac, Faux Macho, Derek Pastorgarella, aka A-Team, Man of Stone 17, Shadow Mask, Shadow Mask, Momdu or Momfuss, Private Eye, Emerald Nova, of course, Young Money Sui, and Anthony Randazzo. Y'all know him as Knight of Dragon. Shouts. That's everybody who supports us at the $3 tier or above. Are you guys crazy? Anyway, we really appreciate you. And then everybody who just supports us at the $1 tier, we appreciate you too. And of course, if you were supporting us by the time that we printed the magazine, your name will be in there regardless. If not, it'll be in the next issue, which I imagine we'll have an entire page just dedicated to Patreon supporters. If you can't afford to support us monthly on Patreon, no worries. Just you can buy a t-shirt on the website. I'm not going to bring it up right here, but look, SHIRO, Emerald's got a nice green SHIRO shirt with the PCB there.
Great for keying out.
Exactly. You could buy a mug, you could buy a bag, like a tote bag for con. We got a lot of stuff, phone cases, that kind of stuff with SHIRO stuff. And if you can't do that, then just a simple thumbs up on the stream would really help. Leave a comment, maybe share it on social media. We love it when folks help share out stuff on Twitter. That's how people find out about us. I still get at least once a week, I get somebody who says, like, I'm a Saturn fan and how am I just finding out about this? So apparently we're a well-kept secret on the internet. Exactly. We do stream every week, and so YouTube hates us, or at least the algorithm hates us, but that's okay because we're kind of like word of mouth, and that's the way it should be, because that way we keep our community small and tight knit. We're kind of like a family here. So join our Discord.
Not everyone can be as famous as Pandemonium.
I know, right? Nick, yeah, no, he's got some
100 people on live on premiere for the virtual documentary.
I know, that was crazy. Of course, and Nick is of course a SHIRO as well. We love him, and we love his content. But yeah, not everybody can be as popular as Nick. But no, that's the point here is that we're a community, so we really welcome you to join us on Discord. If you don't have Discord, get it. It's great. It's a great way to stay in contact with us and see what's going on a day-to-day basis. Like if you're in the Discord, your ear's pretty much to the ground in terms of the Saturn community, either the SHIRO Discord or the SEGA Extreme Discord. Lots going on there.
And even better, if you have skills that you want to lend to a project, the Discord is a great way to connect with creators that need help.
Absolutely. We've got an online support channel if you're interested in working on or being a part of like the online Netlink scene. There's tournaments. There's a channel just dedicated to translations and like learning or getting help about translations. Sega Extreme themselves has a bunch of channels if you're interested in like the techie development side. If you're like really interested in Saturn development, that's the place to be. We got some really smart people in the SHIRO channel, but they're also in Sega Extreme as well. So I consider Sega Extreme almost like a sister site, sister channel community. They are doing amazing things and giving us great news to talk about all the time. So shouts to Sega Extreme and shouts to Emerald for coordinating this competition every year. So with that said,
and if anyone wants to help with Forsaken playing this year, I also have a Discord.
Yes. Oh yeah, there's an Emerald Nova Discord as well. So
it's pretty much developer exclusive. So unless you're actually working on something with me, I don't usually take a lot of guest spots.
Right. Anything else we want to plug? Anybody?
Nope.
Nope.
I think it's time to sign out. You got to go do stuff, man.
I do. Yeah, I do. I'm okay. I'm not like cutting it close or anything like that, but I got to go pick up a pizza in a few minutes. So until next time,
that's critical.
It's been SaturnDave and Emerald Nova reminding you to play your Sega Saturn, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.
See you in 2 hours, everyone else.
There you go. I need my, there we go.
SEGA Saturn しろ